Now, although all of these yoga classes are tailored to exactly what you need, don't forget to listen to your body. Have some water available, have a chair or a wall to practice close by, so that you can practice most safely that you can. Please work to your limits. Don't listen to that ego. Nobody else can see you. So you work to your limitations and to your intention that you're setting. Okay, let's get started. In today's class, we're going to be focusing on lower body and upper body mobility. So the two key areas that we really want to make sure are mobile are our hips and our shoulders. They create huge amounts of movement, and they're both joints, they're a ball and socket joint, that have the most amount of movement in our bodies. However, whereas our hips are quite stable, our shoulders aren't so stable. So we really want to make sure that they are nice and healthy to allow us to reach for things, to be able to maybe fall over and not really hurt ourselves. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Whether you're practicing on a chair or the floor, it's going to be completely suitable and modified for all different levels. Grab yourself some blocks. Blocks could be replaced for big books or maybe even kitchen towels. And some nice cushions, some fairly sturdy cushions will be really great for you today. So we're going to start against a wall. You don't have to have a wall. You could be putting your feet up onto a chair. We just want there to be a 90-degree angle between the hips, the knees and the ankles. Now grab your block as well. Just make sure that your block or your block replacement is about hips width distance. So it will make more sense when we get into our position. Okay, so come all the way down. I am going to use this door as my wall. So you're going to come down, wiggle your hips close towards the wall, so that when you put your feet up, you have got your hips, your knees and your feet in this 90-degree angle. Grab your block and place it in between your legs. Now you might want to have a play around with the distance. So I'm going to place it here. Feels a little bit wide for my hips because I can feel that my hip bones are here, just a little bit further out. So I'm going to turn it so it's the thinnest and place it directly in between my thighs. Now once you've played around and you've got that good position, I want you to just relax. We don't have to do anything here. All you need to think about is gently with the knees, with the inner thighs. Now this is a great way for us just to settle into our hips, help our hips become aligned, ready for that work that we're going to be doing with them shortly. Maybe you close down your eyes and just breathe here. Place your hands wherever you want them. I have mine on my hips. It's a good reminder of the area that I'm working on. Feel that belly expanding with the inhale. Coming back on the exhale. And even though there's that slight pressure inwards on the block, really think about the hips and the lower back sinking down to the ground. Okay, take 3 more big breaths here, really utilizing that belly and the chest. In through the nose and out through the nose. 2 more. Okay, when you come to the end of that last exhale, get ready to move, taking that block away, keeping it close by to you. And we're just going to come all the way onto our mat. So if you need to have a bit of a wiggle around, come away from that wall. Give yourself time to come back onto your mat. Now, if your lower back feels very uncomfortable in a bridge pose, place your block underneath. That's just going to take away that strain. And then you can stay here. This is still going to be a nice stretch for you. The other thing you can do, if you know that you need to work the inner thighs, you might want to have two blocks so that you can place one in between your thighs, which I'll show you now. So if you're just on your backs, no block underneath your lower back, I want everybody to place their block the thinnest way around in between their thighs. So you're thinking about the inner thighs squeezing towards that block. That is going to ensure that we're not dropping the knees out to the side. We want our knees straight up. We don't want them dropping out to the side because we're really working on our knee health here as well. Okay, so you're in this position. Maybe if you're on that block, you stay there and you just think about engaging those glutes. So squeezing both bum cheeks. If you're here in your bridge and you're happy to come up, lift all the way off, squeezing the glutes so much. Think about squeezing that block in as well. Now, we don't need height here in our bridge, but what we do want to think about is length. So drawing our bum to the front of the mat. So that crease that we have just underneath, think about that going forwards. So we're taking away any big curve of the lower back. Because our lower back, we just want to keep us stable and upright. We don't want it to be mobile, which we'll talk about a bit more when we're working on our upper bodies. Okay, come down. Release those glutes if you're just on your block, and then come all the way up wherever you are, engage those glutes. Now our glutes have become very lazy. We sit down so much of the day that our glutes have forgotten how to engage. So maybe you're still running or cycling, and it's really important that we use this powerhouse of our glutes to engage those movements, which you would think was an automatic thing, but where they are lazy, it's almost this glute amnesia. They just don't remember to fire. Come back down. Last time, all the way up. So this is a great way for us to send signals from the brain down to our glutes to remind us, okay, yes, this is how I engage my glutes. So give them a bit of a poke, give them a squeeze if you need to remind yourself. Okay, all the way down. Remove that block from the thighs. Whether you are on the ground or on a block or on a chair, we can all do this together. It's a cook's bridge. It's an amazing way to know if the glutes are activating or actually if you're compensating with your hamstrings or your lower back. So draw this right knee into your chest as much as you can. Maybe you grab a strap to wrap around if that's going to be more helpful to you. Once you have this grip, we're going to then push up through the left heel. Now, you're not going to be able to go that high, and that is okay. Do not move this right thigh. Keep this connection. Drive up through the left heel as much as you can, and just notice where you feel the engagement. Is it the glutes predominantly, or is it the hamstrings or the lower back? Come down. We're going to do this 5 times on this side. If you start to feel it in your hamstrings or your lower back towards the end of the 5 reps, more than likely that is just because we're starting to get a bit tired. But if it's your predominant feeling, it'll indicate that the glutes need to be strong. Why do the glutes need to be strong? So that we don't move into our hips. We want our hips just to be the mobile point, not the strengthening. Okay, switch over to the other side. Draw that left knee in, right foot on the ground. Get ready to do 5, driving through that right heel. Okay. So notice whether it's the glutes that you can feel this in, or the lower back, or the hamstrings. Once you've got to the 5, come all the way down, really nice. Come into a big stretch if you want. And then roll over to one side. and come all the way up. Now we're going to come into my favourite stretch that all of my students will know that I make them do this every single class because it's something that we don't think about. Mobility comes all the way from our toes. So whether you want to grab some cushions, because you know that when you kneel, your knees feel a little bit tight and a little bit sore. So you can place these in those creases so that your angle is a little bit less sharp. So once you've had time to grab that, we're going to be taking the feet together, the knees together, whether you've got the cushions underneath or not, and then sitting all the way back. So we've got these toes tucked, and just think about those toes completely spread. So you might need to, like I just did, just help them come out from underneath themselves. Now, where we wear shoes that make our toes really narrow, this is so bad for our posture. If our posture is bad from the ground up, our hips can become really tight, our glutes can't work properly, our lower back hurts. It can be so many different things. So let's get this right from the bottom up. You may already start to feel a bit of pain here. Pain versus discomfort, just notice where you are. Discomfort, definitely stay with it. Pain, come out and just come back into a nice seated position. Okay, trying to stay here just for a few more breaths, feeling that stretch through those toes. 3, 2, and 1. Really good job. Okay, come all the way forward, give those toes a bit of a wiggle. Now we're going to bring this right knee up. Maybe you need to give it a helping hand so that your knee and your ankle are in line. Bone on bone is the strongest point that we can be. Not the end of the world if the knee is forward, but if the knee is forward, your quads have to do so much more work to keep this knee stable. We don't want to do extra work, do we? Okay, so wherever you are, we're going to have the left knee directly under our hip. So it's in this 90-90 position. Now, if your knees are super uncomfortable here, feel free to stand up and the exact same. Come to a wall or have a chair available to you, and you can do this stretch by lifting up that left leg. Again, a strap could be really helpful to wrap around that foot if you can't quite bring that foot close enough for you to reach. So wherever you are, get into your position. Now, even if you're standing, I want you to think about tucking the tailbone. So squeezing those glutes, tucking the tailbone, and you'll feel a really nice stretch down that left hip flexor, so at the front and the quads as well. I'm going to hold this for 10 seconds. Keep squeezing those glutes, tucking the tailbone under. Once you've got to the end of that 10, release. 2 more times, hold for 10. Okay, final time, all the way under. Really squeeze those glutes, really tuck that tailbone so the hip bones are driving up to the face. And release, good job. Okay, take this left knee slightly further back and then grab one of your blocks. And then grab both of your blocks. So we're going to have the blocks either side of that right leg, depending on where you want them, how high you want them. We want them to be placed under the hands so that our chest can be really nice and open. You're going to think about sinking this left leg down so we're stretching through that hip flexor still. And breathing here. Think about drawing the shoulder blades together so that this chest is nice and open so you can breathe really easily. Okay, and then on the left side, whether you want to take the block down to a lower level, we're going to place the left hand onto that block and reach the right hand all the way up to the sky. Think about the left rib cage spinning round to the right and reaching that right hand higher, drawing the shoulder blades together. Thinking about the crown of the head, really drawing long to the front of the mat. Inhale, reaching the fingers higher. Exhale, spinning round a little bit more. And then all the way back down to the front of the mat. Switching over sides, so taking this right foot back, bringing the left leg forward, setting up for our stretches first. So in this 90-90, whether you need to pop up, and you're going to do your stretch by pulling that foot in, whatever works for you. Okay, once you're set up, tuck that tailbone, draw the hips to the face, and squeeze for 10. And release. And again. And release one more time. Good job. Okay. Taking this right leg slightly further back so that you're on the front of your knee, kind of more that fleshy part. Sinking through this right leg, drawing it down to the ground. Keeping the shoulder blades drawing together, hands on these blocks. And breathing here. Feel that belly expanding with every inhale. Okay, then taking this right block maybe down to a slightly lower level, placing the right hand on that block, big inhale, reach that left hand high. Again, all of the same cues. Think about the crown of the head, reaching out long, the left arm reaching up high, and the shoulder blades drawing together. Keep pushing the mat away with that right hand. And remember to smile and have fun. Okay, exhale, come all the way down. Starting to work on our upper body mobility now. So we're going to have both blocks, bringing them down to the ground. So either side of that mat. Now, whilst we're on the ground, I'll show you here. We're going to have our arms in cactus arms. If this angle is too much for you, take the hands slightly further up so the elbows are slightly higher than the shoulders. So we're just going to start to warm up this upper back. So you're going to come all the way down to your bellies. It might feel really nice to grab a cushion and place it underneath the hip bones if your lower back again is a little bit sore. So grab that, have these arms, the forearms onto your blocks. Figure out where you want them to be, what height you want them to be. And then forehead down and resting here. So a really gentle stretch for the upper arms, the upper back and the shoulders. Just allowing the shoulder blades to gently pull towards one another. If no blocks is enough for you, that is absolutely fine. As you get more comfortable here, maybe you want to go higher on that setting of the block, so you just switch them around. Keep drawing the shoulders higher up, really nice. Feel that pelvis growing heavier into the ground, and try to relax and release any tension in your body. We don't need to be doing anything right now other than focusing on really nice inhales and really nice exhales. Okay, couple more breaths here. And then we're just going to roll all the way onto our backs. So when you're ready, take those blocks away. We're going to need one block. So just keep one block close by. Coming all the way up coming on to our backs. Okay, make your way down again, grabbing this block and placing it in between the knees. We're now going to take the knees all the way over to the left side and thinking about both knees on top of one another. We're then going to take the left arm out long and take the right arm out long to meet it. So we're completely over to the left side. Reaching that right hand as far as you can and then sweeping it behind you, trying to touch the ground at all times in this big rainbow over to the right. Thinking about the knees over to the left, that right arm over to the right. See if you can draw that right shoulder down to the ground. And then that right hand comes all the way up and over, meets the left. Reach it far as you can and then sweep all the way around. Take it nice and slowly and keep going in your own time. Do 3 more of these. Okay, 1 more for me. And then we'll switch over to the other side. So whenever you're ready to switch over to the other side, we're going to do 5 on that side. So we'll all meet up after. So taking the knees over to the right now, thinking about them stacked on top of one another. Both hands over to the right. Reach as far as you can and then sweep that arm all the way around to the left. Thinking about that left shoulder onto the ground. All the way up and over, meets the right hand, reach, and then sweeping all the way around. Okay, 3 more times. One more time for me. Don't worry if you're going a bit slower. Okay, then come all the way back up to center. Remove that block. And again, make your way all the way up to seated, however you get there. And I'll give you all some time to catch up. When you get here, we're coming into our all fours. Now, we're going to be doing some shoulder protractions and retractions. I'll show you first like this. Let me just lift up my t-shirt. So we're going to be having our arms down in our all fours. We're going to be drawing the shoulder blades together and then pushing the shoulder blades away, so separating our shoulder blades. So drawing them together and pushing them away. So you'll be doing that on your all fours. So coming down, setting up nice and strongly, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. So drop the chest down, pull the shoulder blades together. You're not moving anything other than the shoulder blades. And then push the mat away, separate the shoulder blades. And drop. And up. So think that there's a pencil in between the shoulder blades that you're trying to squash every time you draw those shoulder blades together. Okay, 3 more. Try to keep the ears in line with the shoulders. And 1, really nice, all the way up. Okay, coming back into kneeling if this is comfortable, or grab yourself a chair. We're just going to tilt forward slightly, having your left hand at your hip and then right hand comes up towards your temple. I'm just going to show you slightly from the side so you can see the whole move. So you'll be taking your right arm out to the side, your thumb is still up, and then you're going to turn your thumb so it's facing down, and then take the back of the hand to the lower back. And then out to the side, thumb is still down, turn it all the way up, thumb is up, back to the temple. So we're working our internal and our external rotation here, so really helping this shoulder health. Okay, 5 times to the temple, out to the side, turn that hand all the way to the back. In your own time. Okay, that's 2 for me. We're going to do this 5 times. Try to make sure that the whole of that arm is feeling active through the whole move. You almost feel like you're moving that arm through mud. Okay, final time for me. Whenever you get there, we're switching over to the other side. So exactly the same on the left side, slightly tilt forward. Left hand up to the temple, out to the side, turn the thumb down to the lower back, out to the side, turn the thumb up to the temple. Okay, 4 more times. Again, feel like you're drawing that hand and that arm through mud. You're really working them here. Okay, 2 more for me. Do not worry about rushing. Okay. Good job. Coming into our second to last exercise when you're ready. This is going to put a lot of things together for our upper back mobility. So our upper back is what we want to be mobile. We want that to be doing a lot of the movement. And our lower back we want to be stable, so really keeping us like a rock, nice and solid. However, when our shoulders and our upper back lack mobility, we tend to take the movement from our lower back, which can create a lot of pain for our lower back and our hips and our knees and everything else that is connected. So this is going to be a really good test and a great way to help you strengthen and work on that mobility. So you're going to have your arms out in front. Imagine that you're holding a watermelon. So you're really squeezing these arms together. Once you squeeze and engage, that's going to help really activate those arms, activate the chest and the back muscles, especially if we're sitting like this a lot of the time. The front muscles here, the chest, are going to become very tight and the back muscles become very weak because they're always in this state of extension. So it's like an elastic band that's always been lengthened. Eventually it's going to lose its elasticity, so it can't come back to itself. Okay, so arms out in front. Squeeze that watermelon. We don't want to let it drop, and we know it's heavy. And then we're going to take our arms up, still with that watermelon. So I'm going to show you from the side. So you've got your watermelon here, you're squeezing them. You're squeezing it, and you're going to take your arms up. Now, if you take your arms all the way up and your back starts to arch and you get this really big arch in your lower back, that will show you that your mobility in the upper back and the shoulders just needs to be worked on so that you can keep that upper back using its mobility and the lower back being stable. So just take your arms up to wherever you can. Okay, we're going to do 5 of these again. So squeeze that watermelon all the way up and down. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good job. Okay, hold it out in front, squeeze that watermelon, feel that strength coming from the back and the front, really working the rotator cuff that helps that ball and socket joint keep stable. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Okay, come all the way down. Coming into our finishing exercise. Now, this is putting everything into work, our chair pose. So come all the way up. Now, you can use an actual chair here. That's absolutely fine. We're going to have our feet just about hips width distance apart, and I want everybody to grab their block and place it in between their thighs. This is just going to make sure that we're not dropping the knees out to the side again. Actively squeeze the thighs in. Think about the big toes on the floor. And our movement from our hips is sticking the bum out and dropping down. The movements from the arm is all the way up. So we've done that move with our arms. What we want to think about is that we don't drop the bum down, bring the arms up and really arch through this back. So we have a real kind of duck bum, an anterior tilt. So you're going to come down, bottom goes behind so that you can see your toes. You might not be able to go down that low. Hands come as high as you can without sticking that rib cage out. So maybe they're just in front. Can you wiggle your toes? Is the weight in your heels? Maybe you can sink that bum down a little bit more. Just play around with tucking that bum under and sticking that bum out, and just notice where you get to with the least amount of curve. And we're going to hold it here for 10 seconds. If you're on your chair, I want you to do 10 reps of getting up and coming down. When you're coming down, you're lifting your arms up. Okay, 10 seconds starts now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way up. Really good job. Remove that block. Okay, come down into whatever seated position works for you. You can be sitting on a block, you can even lie all the way down. Okay, let's just have a quick couple of moments of breathing here. So hands onto your thighs, palms facing up, close down the eyes. Feel that belly expanding with the inhale. And coming back on the exhale. Feeling the shoulders dropping away from the ears. And any tension in your jaw behind your eyes is being released with every single exhale. Just start to think about anything that you need to work on, that you felt today maybe wasn't as strong as you would like it to be, or as mobile as you would like it to be. And you've done such an amazing job already identifying those areas. And you can come back to this session whenever you need. Okay, take one final big inhale and a big sigh out through your mouth. And whenever you're ready, blink the eyes open. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this class has been really helpful for you. And remember to check out all my other classes. See you next time.